First of all, the experience, it made me resent my dad. Yeah, it made me resent him. I remember at some point he wanted to vie for member of parliament
Oh,
in his village. Yeah, the first wife.
okay.
That's Keumbu. And at some point, I was pushed
Uh,
inside me to go to the media and talk badly about him, but
oh,
I didn't. Thank God.
thank God.
Yeah, I resented him, which was
Oh.
really, yeah, it's like at some point I even went and asked him in front of his employees, are you really my father?
Welcome to Inner Dialogue. This is a place where we'll be getting into deep conversations that happen inside us and around us. Or if they don't happen inside you, they should be happening. And yeah, we are just going to be having a good conversation between two friends. We've been having these conversations a lot as friends, and they have built us. And we just felt like inviting the world into our conversations because we've seen them help us. And at times we just feel like, hey, I wish we had someone else here
Yeah.
to share in this so that we even hear more opinions. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing here. And before we go any further, just so that we have the context of who are these two friends who are here to share their lives and just share some concepts. I think we begin by letting you in into our lives. So my friend here is my co-host. She's not my guest. Yeah, she's been my co-host on tables in hotels in our house. So my co-host.
Thank you. Yeah, so welcome to Inner Dialogue, everybody. My name is Betty Chepkirui, and I prefer to use Betty King as my brand name. That is in all my social media handles.
The king.
Yes,
You're
Betty
not
King.
queen.
No, it's King. I decided to do the name King because you will get the story later, but then it's from my father, the King. Yeah, so I decided to call myself Betty King. So I am an entrepreneur. I do business. An entrepreneur is a business person who is multi. It's not just a specific business. It's you start this and then you go to this. So currently I am in real estate, and I specialize in property management and property consultation. I also lately I decided to delve into the construction industry, which is a big industry. It's still a baby, but I am proud of what it is doing to my life currently. And my company is called Betty King Constructs and Real Estate, and we are located in Nakuru. So back to you, Caris.
Oh yeah, nice. Sijatosheka. Betty King, real estate, family.
Ah. Yeah, so Betty is a single mom of two, aged 19 and 11. That is Lee and Chanel.
Nice.
Yeah, so single mom. We stay in Nakuru, and I'm from a family of 3 kids. That is where I was born, and I'm the only girl in between 2 boys, now men.
Wow.
Yeah, so I come from a polygamous family, by the way. My mom is a third wife.
Wow.
Yes.
That's gonna be a topic of conversation.
Yeah,
Polygamy.
polygamy, that's something else.
Yeah.
But basically that's it. My parents are deceased, both of them, unfortunately. May their souls rest in peace. Yeah, so that's me and my small family.
Yeah.
It's been a journey, but up to this place, I would say God is faithful.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd like to know about you as well, your family. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted you to ask. So, full name, government name, Peter Karaoke Mbuthia. Karis, you just had her call me Karis, but I like Karis with CH. Okay, so the normal Caris is with a K because it's karaoke in short, but Caris with CH actually is Greek for grace, kindness, and life.
Wow.
Yeah, so I believe I bring those three things into life. I bring grace, I bring kindness, I bring life
And laughter.
and laughter
Yeah.
into life. Yeah, so I like to say I now the titles I like coach. I am a coach. I am certified as a practitioner of coaching excellence. That's my certification. I am a trainer. But other wonderful titles I love is that I am a father. I have a son also. My son is 12. My first son is 12. So Betty will be telling us why, despite the fact that I think we are the same age, she's just a few months older. Her son is 19 and mine is 12. Okay, so I am a father. I am a husband. I am a friend. Is another title I really respect. Friend is really important. Yeah, friend is something that is not very, it's hard to come by kwa hii dunia ya sahi, but it's something that I'm really appreciating, being a friend, being a true friend, and experiencing true friends. What else am I? You know me.
Mostly, I think that part of a friend really brings attention. Like, even for us to be sitting here today, it is through friendship.
True.
It's friendship that gave birth to this idea, and of course, where we are heading.
Yeah. True story. Yeah, so I like to say that I'm currently living my dream life.
Wow.
Yes. I know someone out there is saying when I grow up I want to be you. Yes, it's true. But I'm not saying I have everything I want in life. I am saying I'm at a place where I am happy on Monday in the morning as I am on Friday evening. I'm one of those people who love Friday.
Wow.
So I'm just as happy on Monday morning because of what I anticipate to do during the day as I am on Friday evening. But it has not always been like that. There's a whole story to it. And one of the things you're going to be discussing here is process.
Yeah.
Because at times there is this desire for instant gratification. Unajua? So I was not always saying I'm living my dream life.
Something that has really caught me in that conversation is that you're saying you're happy on Monday, you're happy on Friday.
Yes.
Meaning it's a constant. It's something you look forward to doing, like every day.
Yes.
And I believe that is what each and every one of us would like to get in life, where you just wake up in the morning and you're so enthusiastic about what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure.
Yeah.
There's no pressure to it. The result of it motivates you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's part of the reason why this show is coming into place, because for us, inner dialogue is about the questions that we keep asking ourselves, like, why am I not happy?
Yes.
What is missing?
Yes.
What is that thing that is really missing that is making me not to feel like I'm enjoying my life?
Yeah. Awesome. I like it is that the result of what I do makes me happy.
Yeah.
Even better, the process. I am happy doing what I do, and I'm happy getting the results.
Wow.
That is the joy. But as I said, it has not always been like this. So we have to go back to the beginning.
True.
And since you started the introduction,
so I go back to my beginning.
Take us back to your beginning. Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm from a polygamous family, and my mom was the third wife, and I was brought up in Bomet County, in a village called Sotik. And although I was told I was born in Nakuru, but I don't really remember much about my life in Nakuru as a small girl. But we went to Sotik and we settled there. And then I started school in a primary school, kindergarten. Of course, those days ilikuanga nursery, and it was nursery and what? It was nursery,
Kulikuwa na
upper, middle, and then top.
baby class, middle class, top class.
Yeah, in that order. So I went to boarding quite early. Class 2. Nilipelekwa boarding in class 2. And for me it was an unfortunate thing because boarding class 2 all the way to form 4, to some parents they might feel like it's an advantage to them, it gives them time to do their thing, but really they never put themselves in these kids' shoe. So I was in boarding from grade 2 to class 2. CBC inatuchanganya. Class 2 to all the way to form 4. But then
tell me about boarding in class 2. Is it something you do?
No, it's not something I would do to my children because first of all sikuwa najua kuoga vizuri. I did not know how to wash my clothes. I did not know so many things. I mean, who knows how to wash their clothes in class 2? Although they promise you when they are taking your kid to boarding that when you reach a school, matron will be doing their laundry because they are young, but that's never the case. So anyway, my life went on until class 8. For some reason, I realized that my memory decided to block my life from your part when I was young until around class 8. I really have no idea.
What happened?
I don't know whether there was drama, I don't know. And if I remember a bit of some things, I can only remember in school, not at home.
Wow.
Because, for instance, I don't remember seeing my dad at home at any given time.
Wow.
At all. Okay. So maybe it's the short times that I was at home during when we close school, I'm a midterm, is when he's not there. I would assume that maybe he comes when we are not there. But anyway, to cut the long story, so class 8, I sit for my KCPE. I do very well.
So between class 2 and class 8 didn't happen?
Honestly, I don't know. But I remember I was very good in drama.
Yeah.
I was very good in poetry.
From primary school?
Yes, from primary school. I used to get awards. I used to go all the way to the national level.
Wow.
And at some point, when I was in class 6, there was an issue with the school fees. So this issue with school fees got my mom taking us to a primary school in the rural, in the village, a day school, which it didn't last. It lasted for like 1 term. The principal from the previous school akapiga kelele because I came and did poetry and became number 1. Nikashinda watoto wa shule yake, and she was like, no, this is my product. And she decided she's going to educate me kama ni school fees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so one time we were put in these songs we used to sing for President Moi when he comes passing, and I was the soloist, me and her daughter. And President Moi says, watoto wameimba vizuri sana, walipiwe school fees.
Wow.
And that's how I went
Baba Moi.
Yes, asante Baba Moi. So I ended up being educated in class 7 and 8, and I didn't have issues with school fees again from that time. So I finished my primary school, and then I got good grades. I was called to Kipsigis Girls High School. It's a national school in Kericho, where I joined, and then definitely I joined the drama team again. And my certificates, they're still there, up to date in my cabinet though. Yeah, so I did pretty well, joined drama, joined poetry, and then something happened.
You loved these things?
I loved the stage. Like, I did not have a stage fright, like facing people and talking, and I was so confident and all that. Yeah, I don't know how these dreams die when we grow up.
They don't die, they add up to something someday.
Yeah, so probably, someday. So in Form 2, I remember we had gone for these drama festivals, international actually, in Kisumu. When you finish, kuna kwangana nationals, and then there's normally the gala thing that normally happens internationally. People come in from several countries and all that. So we went to Kisumu to do the gala thing, and we finished very well, and then watu walikuwa wamefunga shule. We came back home. When we came back home, things were not going on well at home. And I realized it looks like now my dad is no longer really responsible, because you see, when I was taken back to the primary school because of school fees, I really didn't know what had happened, why we didn't have money to pay school fees and all that. And I thought, my dad was rich, by the way. I would call him rich. It's not the rich of the kina Chris Kirubis of the world, but he was rich according to our village. So I did not understand why we did not
could
have
afford paying
exactly
school.
He could afford, as much as he had 3 families. He could have managed. So in Form 2 is when I started understanding that things are not working well between my parents. And
pause there.
Yeah.
How was it being in a polygamous family? Your life is very different from mine.
Okay, so being in a polygamous family, by the way, for me is not a big...
You knew the other families?
Yes.
Okay. You lived together?
I know them. Like, even now, as my mom is deceased, my stepmom calls me to check on me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, all the time. She calls me to check on me. Like, it wasn't a big deal. And it's something that has transpired from even the generations. Because it's not only my mom who was married as a third wife. Her sisters, too. They've been married in polygamous families. And I see them interacting quite well. Unlike this generation where we are right now, where people fight and all sorts of things.
So that one was peaceful?
It was peaceful.
Everybody knew their place?
Everybody knew their place. And my dad was a very good man in that when he settled his wives, he bought everybody their land. Oh, wow. Separately. And I should say a good thing or a bad thing, he decided to separate the title deeds. He did not put the title deeds in his names. He put them in the wives' names. So that in case he's not there, no one fights for whoever's. That was a good man. Yes, kila mtu anajua boundary yake ni wapi. Yeah, so that's what he did. And for us, polygamy wasn't... We still talk with my stepbrothers.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, that's one of the few good stories of polygamy that I've had.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're in Form 2.
So now I'm in Form 2. I come home.
Kuna issues.
Kuna issues. And I find now at this time my mother has joined a church, a religious place where she used to go a lot, and she spends most of her time there. And we don't have a relationship. Remember, I've been in boarding school all this time. So we don't have a relationship of mother-daughter. In fact, my mother is now my neighbor. And her daughters are my sisters. I come from school, I don't find anyone at home. I cross over to the neighborhood. That's where I'll eat lunch. That's where I'll change. And dress whatever I want. Apparently there were so many girls. There were about...
So you actually wear...
I used to wear what they wear. Yeah. I used to wear what they wear. And if I have an occasion, I will go there. That's my wardrobe. Yeah. So that's how I lived my life. And it's a good thing for me they were there. So I come back, and my mother is all lost in religion. She used to pray. She sort of looked like she was depressed. Because you would hear her pray for very long hours until she forgets that we are supposed to eat. Wow. And by the time she comes out of her room, we are asleep. Me and my younger brother, he was only about 2 years younger than me. And so when I'm struggling with school fees, and Moi comes in for me, my brother drops out of school.
In class, that is in class 7?
Yes, in class 7. So, he went to class 7, and he went, I think, to class 8. And then he dropped out. He never joined Form 1. But... And then me, I didn't have this awareness that maybe I should talk to him, or maybe I was fighting for my own life. I was fighting for my own education.
So you mean, if President Moi and that whole thing had not come through, even you'd have dropped out?
I don't know what would have happened. I can't say. And I don't know what would have happened. Maybe God's purposes, they always win. So maybe someone else would have come in come as President Moi. So my brother dropped out in Form 1, and then he got himself into drinking and all that.
Never went back.
Now never went back. And then my mom is lost in this religion thing.
I have.
Yeah.
I want to say it right, but I there is this saying I've heard someone say, I think it's actually a preacher who said that religion is one of the devil's best strategies against sincere Christ-likeness.
True.
Because now I'm hearing you say, and we are not blaming mom,
No.
but she's so caught up in quote unquote prayer. Prayer is a good thing. I love to pray.
Yeah.
I have a day in a week that I've set apart for prayer. But she's praying so much that she is forgetting to make supper for her 2 small children.
Yeah.
And I don't know the balance between, because I am now deliberately more keen on having a relationship with God. And even when I'm teaching my child, when I'm talking to other people, I am keen on having a relationship with God as opposed to practicing religious practices.
True.
What do you say of it?
I would say there's a balance that ought to be there.
Balance, that's the word.
Yes, there's a balance that ought to be there because you see now my mom, she thinks she's doing the right thing. She's seeking God. And probably she was praying for us. Yeah. She was definitely praying for us.
Yeah.
But we got left out. Yeah. We got left out. My brother, I feel for him because I managed to find myself. Somehow, maybe probably because of my association, my friends and so forth. And there ought to be a balance when it comes to religion, and I wouldn't say really religion, let's call it spiritual matters, because I wouldn't say I'm religious myself. I would say
I also don't like to call myself religious.
Yes, I have a relationship with God, and Christ is my savior, and I go to church, but religion is it's sort of I don't know, a brainwash, I would call it. Because when you see what it did to my mom, for her, I don't know whether she assumed that God will take care of her children. And so she went on, and we continued with our lives just the way they were. So
so you're back home?
I come home, and I don't have school fees for the next term.
This is end of Form 2?
This is this is first term of Form 2. And I had balance first term of Form 2. So second term, I go to school, I don't have money, and I am sent home the first week. So I come home, and mom doesn't have money, and I go to my dad, the one who never comes home, so I have to go looking for him. Fortunately, he had a workshop in town, in Sotik towns, where you could visit him. He had an office there. So I go talk to him, and he's like, no. Now my dad starts bringing issues between him and my mother to me, telling me that he cannot pay my school fees because mom did this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, so but I need to go back to school. And he's like, no, tell your mother to pay for you. And I go back to mom, and it becomes a back and forth. One term is gone.
You got caught up.
So at some point, I gather some money from my friends, now from the neighbors. I go to school. I try to explain to the principal that I'm not able to get school fees, and she says, go bring your parents, go bring your guardian.
That was unfair because they had issues before they were okay, maybe.
I don't know whether they were okay. I tend to think, now that I've gone through my own personal issues, even in relationships, I tend to think they had issues from way back, and they were unresolved until they got to a place where they could not take it anymore, probably.
I just got caught that point for kuingiza mtoto kwa story.
That was not right. That was
maybe
not
it's
right.
something, it's another thing we'll be talking about. About how, like, parents should find a way. We will always have issues as grown-ups. Parents should find a way of not involving their children in the things they go through.
True.
So that what happens between me and my partner
Mhm.
we should, as much as possible, as good people, we should as much as possible try not to involve our children in it.
Yeah, the kids should be neutral.
Like
As-
now you are lacking school fees because dad will no longer pay because hawasikizani na mama.
Exactly, because I was kizani na mama, something happened, maybe he feels like mom owes him something she should have done, and I'm caught up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I go to school and I'm told to bring a guardian, a parent, and I come back home and my mom is not available. Emotionally, she wasn't able to deal with issues at that point. I think she was in a very bad place. And I can understand that at this time of my life. There are days, there are years where I blamed her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are times where I was bitter. And I was like, if they had done this, if they had done this. But now I can understand a place where she was and resonate with her and say, okay, she didn't know any better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, even as we are saying this, I hope it doesn't come out like we are blaming parents or our parents. They did what they knew best at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as you grow, now we are parents. God help us to do better.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I have realized another thing. If you keep bitterness, as long as you remain like, my mother should have done this, my father should have done this, you probably won't do any better.
You won't even move.
Yeah. So I think it's best to forgive them, see where they were at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that way you are able to see that it was a mistake, just as you do mistakes now.
Yeah.
And be able to correct it, be able to do it better, hopefully for your kids. And maybe your children will be able to do it better for theirs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we thank God for them and for the work they were doing.
Indeed.
Yeah, even with those small glitches.
Kabisa.
Umelemewa na school fees.
Umelemewa na school fees, so I come home, she's not able to go and talk, and then my dad at that time was very alikuwa na rage mingi sana. That if I could, and my dad by the way was wale wa koloni, where approaching him is a problem. By the way, I could
you have to have motaratara.
You have to go to my dad's office with decorum and plan your words.
Wow.
Alikuwa alikuwa anakaa kama askari. He used to work as a settlements officer, so I don't know whether he got that from. Alikuwa mkali. Alikuwa mkali sana. So I could go to his office and just stand. He's reading a newspaper and he had his glasses on and he ignores me. And he's seeing me standing there. He continues with his newspaper, and then at some point anaiweka chini anafanya hivi. He has a kissy name he used to call me, Kwamboka. That's my kissy name, by the way. Kwamboka, taabu gani? Before I answer, he's back.
Oh.
That was my dad.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was very hard to approach him, especially when he's mad at something. It was really hard. So at this point, I stay at home one term, and then the second term again I stay at home. So the school definitely they assume that this child doesn't want to come to school, or they have changed her to maybe to a different school. So they wrote a letter saying that my chance has been forfeited, has been given to another student.
Wow.
And that's how my opportunity in Kipsigis Girls ikaisha tu hivyo, ikapotea hivyo. But I never gave up.
Okay.
I never gave up, so I stayed home for 2 terms of Form 2. And then I gathered courage. I actually spoke with my friends, and they told me we can look for another school.
Your age mates?
Yeah, my age mates. These friends of mine, my neighbors.
Your other
one of them was a bit older, and we still talk. She's almost like a big sister to me. So she tells me you can go to this school, and I decided to go to school.
Yeah.
And then I met the principal of that school, Sotik High School. A school, my friend was, unaona zile shule watoto wameharibika. By the school is closed as we speak. Ilifungwa.
Oh my.
Because of management and things happening here and there. We were the last candidates for Form 4.
Wow.
So I went to school, I spoke to this principal, I told him...
You went?
Personally, Mimi.
Okay, now I see.
I didn't even tell my mother.
I see this determination, this same determination I see today.
Yeah, so I went
Uh-huh.
and spoke to him. I told him I'm from this school and this happened and I need an opportunity to go back to school. So he tells me, now, how will you study without school fees? Now remember, this is a private school. It's not a public school. So
Yeah.
school fees has to be paid. The school fees is even, I think, almost the same na ile ya Kipsigis, but private school you can negotiate your way.
Public.
Yeah, public. So he tells me, okay, he was a good man. I would say he's one of the people you can call destiny helpers. Yeah, because he came in handy. He admitted me.
Wow.
I told him I don't have money to buy uniforms.
Okay.
And he told me, come with your previous uniform until we find a way. I went to school. And it was a boarding school. Sina shopping, sina anything. Again, my friend, she used to come through. Tunaenda tunanunua kale ka Colgate kadogo, tunanunua tishu mbili, tunanunua kakiwi, tunanunua hivyo. That's how I went to school. And 2 weeks down the line, he asked me, where are your parents? And I told him they are there. I introduced my dad. His name is this. And he was like, what name did you say? And I tell him again, is this so and so and so? And I'm like, yeah, I know this man. And I'm like, okay, you know him? Yeah, I know him. And he's like, okay, I'll organize a meeting. So he organizes a meeting between me and him and my father. Apparently, my dad was among the board of governors in that school. Board of governors in that school.
The school where you had no school fees.
Not the previous one.
Yeah.
And he tells me, you wait. So he brings me and my dad into his office and, hey, Bwana Nyamache, this is your daughter. And he's like, yeah. So she's been going through this and this and this. It's like he's being introduced to his own daughter. And then my dad is like, yeah, issues here and there, but you know, as a man, he decides to take up the responsibility. And
thank God.
Yeah, thank God. And then he takes up the responsibility, pays a bit of the money, and then he goes. But kidogo, my friend, my dad resigns from the board. Yeah, shule.
Okay.
I think now it became too much pressure for him because now ameshikwa. Ako kwa board.
So alifeel responsibility ya kulipa kwa sababu ako kwa board.
Exactly.
Okay.
Aka resign from that board and then he stopped paying.
Okay.
And now something I had done when he came in and he promised to remember nilijoin hii shule nikiingia form 3.
Yeah.
And I had not studied in form 2 for 2 terms.
Yes.
So form 3 is when now we are registering for KCSE and all that.
Yeah.
So I use his name to capture him. Now I take his surname officially, which was not there in my birth certificate. Okay. I take up his surname, Nyamache, and I register and all that. And then he stops paying. When he stops paying, I'm left in a limbo. And then principal ako niambia, he stopped paying. He found a way of just making me his daughter.
Oh, so you didn't know, you continued
schooling?
Baadaye.
That's why I continued with the name, mpaka saa ile na register.
But it's okay, he was still your father.
By the time I finished, he's still my father up to date. By the time namaliza form 3, sasa tuna register KCSE and all that. I have his name and all that, and then now the principal calls me to the office and tells me, now, you know, the school fees was not paid, and he was not sending me home.
Wow.
Because he knew I had nowhere to go. Nitaenda na nitarudi tu hivyo. Because he sent me several times za kwanza after my dad had come and I could come back with nothing. Yeah. Nikirudi nakuja nasema amesema atalipa. And then I stay in school and nothing happens. So it reached a point, we had a conversation now, father-daughter conversation, and he told me now, I have a plan.
Yeah.
I want you to focus on your studies. If you feel like you don't want to go home, you can stay here. When I'm sending people home for school fees, you can stay in my house. He had a wife. and his kids were also studying in the same school.
Yeah.
And he told me, if you feel like I don't want other kids to see that, I'm not sending you home.
Yeah.
You can just go home to my place.
Wow.
Within the school.
Wow.
And after a day or two,
You
just come back to class, and life continues. So
Wow.
I continued like that.
Mhm.
Fortunately,
What do you think that period of life, going through that, one, what did it create in you? What did it make in you? What do you feel like was the effect of that period of your life? And two, say something about these good people. There are good people. One of the things I love, one of my favorite songs is by Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw. Inaitwa, something about good people still exist. I'll remember before we finish. What do you think? What can you say about these good people that just come into our lives, and so that we give people hope that there are still good people?
yeah.
There are still good people in this twisted world, and in the world where there's so much that is not good that is happening. There are still some good people. He had no
Attachment completely.
there is nothing that you would give back.
True.
Wow. Yeah.
So I would say, first of all, the experience, it made me resent my dad. Yeah. It made me resent him. I remember at some point he wanted to vie for member of parliament in his village, the first wife.
Okay.
That's Keumbu. And at some point I was pushed inside me to go to the media and talk badly about him. But I didn't, thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah, I resented him, which was really, it's like at some point I even went and asked him in front of his employees, are you really my father? Wow.
Recently we had a discussion with a group of men that we usually meet, and we were talking about the statistics of children who remain committed to a Christian life without having fathers.
Yeah.
We were seeing